Just waiting to go live on Facebook. Adjust my lighting a little bit. It's a little bit better. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you. It's been a while, y'all. It's been such a long time. Oh, wait a minute. My picture crooked. That bothers me. All right. So we got that straight. It's been a while. I'm so excited to be on here with you all. I don't know if anyone is going to be able to join me tonight. I'm kind of just jumping on and doing a very impromptu live, coming on just to talk to you all. It's been a while. It's been a minute. And I guess I did a mental health I did the mental health month workshop in May, so y'all kind of saw my face then. But I just wanted to jump on, first of all, just to say, how are you guys doing tonight? Drop it in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what's going on with you. If you don't know who I am, if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, I am Chanel McCord. I am the CEO and clinical director of Oasis Wellness Group, the Oasis Counseling Center. So I'm super excited to be on with you tonight. Do me a favor, as you hop on, let me know that you are here. I see that there are some people viewing, but go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know that you are here. We're just going to have a quick conversation tonight. If you're watching later, let me know that you are watching later. I know that the Olympics is on right now. That's why I was a little bit late, because I wanted to see the gymnastics competition. But let me know that you're here. We're just going to have a quick conversation. If you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and drop it in the comments, and we will go from there. And so I hope that you all are doing well. I hope that you are enjoying your summer. I hope that you're having an opportunity to go out, get some sun and all of that wonderful stuff. It's been an interesting year and some change now. So I just want to make sure that everybody, like, you're taking care of yourself this time around, during this summer, getting out, get some sun. I finally got to the beach after almost a year, so I'm super excited about that. And just trying to be intentional about how I do my days to make sure that I am enjoying myself. So I hope the same thing for you. So not going to be long because, you know, the Olympics is on. There is a time difference. But I wanted to come and talk because there was a topic that kind of hit my heart today. It's been on my heart for a while, for a couple of weeks now, after things had came out with Naomi Osaka and some decisions that she made. But then today, getting word that Biles withdrew from the competition, it really just sparked something in me. And I just wanted to talk. With you all about it. Kind of didn't want to keep it to myself, get your opinions. Hopefully it will help some of us as well, right? And so as the competitions are on, and you know, there's the time difference, so we actually knew everything that was going on before it actually aired on TV our time because of the time difference. But so we got word today that Simone Biles withdrew from the competition, and the original word was cited that it was a non-physical injury, the reason why she withdrew from the competition. And then they kind of went back later on and said that there were physical injuries. And then they kind of went back again and said that, you know, she wasn't right in the right headspace, the right mental space, and so decided to withdraw so that there wouldn't be any injuries. And as I've been kind of like watching this journey, watching her journey, and then we know a couple of weeks ago on Naomi Osaka made the decision that, you know, doing press interviews was a lot for her and that she didn't want to do it. And if it was something that she was forced that she would have to do, that she would also withdraw from her competitions and things like that. And it really just got me to thinking about the importance of mental health. And there are some very key and very keen lessons that we can learn from these queens during this season. I'll go into this. I won't hit it. I won't stay on it long because that is not the point of today's live. That is not the point of what I want to talk about. But I was sitting down thinking about the fact my heart hurt for Simone specifically, because there had been a lot of word over the last, you know, couple of days, last few weeks, or whatever the case is, that the Olympic Committee, whoever is in charge, right? I'm not getting into the specifics of that, has made the decision to not give her full credit for the abilities that she has. She clearly has a capacity that not many other gymnasts, if any gymnast right now at all, has. And she has the ability to do moves that other people can't do. And the level of difficulty in her routines, it's a high level of difficulty. And because other people are not able to do the same things that she can do, because she has the capacity and no one else does, they decided that they were not going to score her according to the difficulty or give her the proper credit and scoring for the moves that she's able to do. And this really was bothersome for me. It hurt my heart on many levels, right? But I'm going to keep it right here because I have a lots of opinions on it. It hurt my heart on many levels because I started thinking about young girls everywhere, right? And I'm just going to talk from the vein of young girls, right? We can talk from many different veins and what this would apply to, but I just want to talk from the vein of young girls everywhere right now. We teach young girls, especially knowing that, less than 2% or about 2% of CEOs of Fortune 500 company are women. We know that usually men get paid more and all of that, all of that good stuff. We know glass ceiling and all of that stuff. And so oftentimes we teach young girls, but I also say we teach children to work hard, to be the best at what they can do, right? To work twice as hard, be twice as good, so that nobody can deny your skills. Nobody can deny your abilities. Nobody can deny the things that you can do. And then here you have this young woman who literally has built her capacity up, her ability and her skills up in such a way that nobody can deny that Simone Biles is the best of what she does. Nobody can deny that. And it just seems like the bar moved. Here she came along on the scene, being able to do things better than anybody else is able to do, and the bar moved on her, right? And now she's not going to get credit because everybody else has to catch up. And so my thought is, okay, so she won't get credit because everybody else has to catch up. And then eventually somebody will catch up and then they'll be able to get credit because now it just becomes the norm, right? And it got me thinking about there's always a first in something. There was a first person who did a dunk, in basketball or whatever. And we should honor people for the first and the abilities that they have. That's one side of it. But getting into the mental health side of it, because this is why I'm really here tonight, I really started thinking about, one, how we don't realize how stresses and pressures of life, right? Even when it comes to something like sport, we experience some high pressures in life and we experience some inequities, some unfairness in life sometimes, whatever. And it really does take a toll on our mental health. The biggest lesson that we have learned from Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka is that our mental health matters first. Listen to me, y'all, and hear me clearly. These queens have taught us that our mental health matters first. These are two young women who are on the world stage. Hear me. They are on the world stage. We're not even talking about national. We're not even talking about local city. We're not even talking about, just them being a town, like whatever the case is. They are worldwide national athletes, Olympians. These young women are on the world stage and have made the decision that they are going to honor their mental health, that they're going to honor their peace of mind above what it means to be an Olympian, above what it means to be on the world stage, above what it means, the disappointment that may come for other people because I decided to make this decision for myself. Think about this for a second. When Simone withdrew, she withdrew from her team. She withdrew from a team competition. So there may have been, her teammates seem to have supported her, but there may have been a little bit of disappointment because she was a huge part of the team. But these queens decided that it was more important for them to make sure that they were mentally healthy, they were emotionally healthy, at peace and stable, than to put themselves in a position to put themselves out there to be able to satisfy a world stage. This is such an important lesson that many of us miss. Most of us will, because it's the Olympics, right? Let's be honest. I know I'm not the only one. I don't know who's watching right now, whatever the case is, if anybody is watching, but let's be honest for a second. Most of us, if we made it for the Olympics, I don't care how we was feeling, we was going to push through anyway. We were going to push through not being at peace. We were going to push through being in pain. We were going to push through experiencing whatever mental and emotional deficits that they may be experiencing right now because of the pressure that they're experiencing. Most of us would have pushed through because we would have convinced ourselves, but it's the Olympics. We think just because it's a big stage or it's a big door that's being opened, we think that that matters more and it's more important than our mental and our emotional health. This is not the case, y'all. Instagram, if you hear me, Facebook, YouTube, what else I'm on? Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Hear me and hear me clearly. There is no platform, there is no stage, there is no situation that will ever be bigger than your peace of mind. There is no platform, stage, or situation that will ever be bigger than making sure that you are in the right mental space and that you are harboring the right emotional capacity to be able to carry that thing out. A lot of times, if we're honest, some of us will try to push through and we try to do things and we're not in the right mental and emotional space, and it does not work. It will not work. Your mental and emotional health, your mind, is the center of your existence. It is the center of your existence. And if your mind is right, nothing else around you will be right. You will try to push through. You'll try to get things done anyway. You will try to put your best foot forward. And here's the thing, some of you may, but ultimately it is not going to work. And then my other question for you is it worth it? Is it worth it? Simone and Naomi made the decision that their own mental health, the things that they are experiencing and that they are going through internally, right? What they are experiencing internally was more important than to try to satisfy a world stage. That is a huge lesson, y'all. It is a huge lesson that they just taught us. Most of us need to get to a point where we prioritize our mental and our emotional health above everything else that's going on around us. So many of us, so many times we are pushing through. We're trying to do things. We're trying to make, ends meet or whatever the case is. We're trying to be a big name. We're trying to realize dreams and visions, but our mind is not right. And as long as our mind is not right, it's going to be hard for us to be at 100% capacity. It's going to be hard for us to deliver in the way that we need to deliver. These queens taught us. Listen, sis. Listen, bro, because I'm not just talking to the ladies. I don't want my brothers to miss this either. Your mental health is more important than anything. If you are not at peace, it is time to go get peace. There may be some things that you need to put on a back burner. There may be some things that you need to say that it needs to wait a little bit. There may be some people that may be disappointed by your decision to choose you. But guess what? They're going to be okay. Guess what? If that thing was really for you, if that dream was really for you, it's going to happen anyway. You taking time to take care of yourself does not diminish the dream that's on the inside of you. You taking time to take care of yourself does not take away from your talent, your skill, or your ability. It doesn't do any of that. Right? You taking time to take care of your mental health shows a place of emotional maturity. So the second lesson that these queens taught us is that they showed us what it means to be emotionally mature. They showed us what it means to be emotionally mature, that they made the decision to choose them. That's what they did. So many more of us need to start making a decision to choose us. We have to start choosing us over situations and people and trying to live up with the Joneses and trying to meet their standard or whatever it is that we want to call it or whatever it is that we want to say it is. These queens decided that they were going to choose them, and they did that. And it's mind blowing to me. I have to keep saying, I have to keep going back to it because I want y'all to process that with me. They are Olympians. That's a big deal. real. They are Olympians. They made it to a world stage. And even in making it to the world stage, made a decision that they were going to put themselves above the competition. They were going to put their needs and their mental health above whatever else was going on. We have to learn. I don't care how important or how big that thing is. It's okay to choose you. It's okay, sis, to step back. It's okay, bro, to take a break, right? I admire them so much. I admire them so much for the decision that they made to decide, you know what? I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to take care of me. And you know what? I hope my hope and my prayer is that they have set a tone and a message for athletes, for not just athletes, but any other industry that you work in. They have set a message and a tone that I am more important than what you want to use me for. Now, some people may say I'm going to great lengths of that or whatever. But let's be honest, when we talk about some organized sports and things or whatever, there are some people who are profiting off of how good, some of these athletes are. There really are, right? But they made the decision that I wasn't going to let any of that stop me. I hope for us who are watching, I hope that we're not just watching with a heart of disappointment, like, oh, she had to withdraw. And that was my initial reaction. My initial reaction was I just felt sad because I felt like, oh, she had to withdraw. Why did she have to withdraw? And then something clicked in me and I said, no, good for her. She made the decision to do that for her, right? So this is not she had to withdraw. My heart hurts that she was put in a position, put in a position of the inequity, the unfairness, right? That she had to, that she was put in that position, in that place. But at the same time, I am so stinking proud of her for making the decision that, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind. I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose what is best for me. My hope and my prayer is that more of us would start doing that. More of us would start making the decision that I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose what is best for me. If I need to take a step back, I'm going to take a step back. If I need to take a break, I'm going to take a break. If I need to walk away from something altogether, I'm going to walk away from it altogether. Because guess what, y'all? It's all good and it's okay. What I'm not saying is give up. I'm not saying give up on your dreams. I'm not saying throw in the towel. I'm not saying find an excuse to be lazy or to be unmotivated or to not make it happen. What I'm saying is do what you have to do and make the decision that you need to make for you that's going to garner you the best outcome. There is nothing worse, because here's the thing. There is nothing worse than making it to a world stage. And because you're not in the right frame of mind, or you don't have the right emotional or mental capacity, not being able to sustain yourself at that place. And see, that's what it's all about. I may be able to make it to the world stage, but can I sustain myself there, right? And so it is important that we choose us, that we choose our mental and our emotional capacity. Listen, they set precedent and they set a major tone. You best believe that I am using their example with every client that I possibly can come forth, I can find, right? Well, where's relevant? I'm not going to just be throwing stuff where it's not relevant, right? And with our children and teaching them, work hard, do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, it's okay to take a rest if you need a rest, right? We have to learn that. We have to learn there. People talk about it all the time. We got to hustle, we got to grind and all of that. Grind culture is a lie. And if you try to keep up with grind culture, you will kill yourself. Yeah, it sounds cute. I'm just grinding. I'm hustling. I'm trying to make it happen. But none of us is Superwoman and none of us is Superman. And if you're spending all your time and you're spending all your capacity just grinding, when are you stopping to enjoy life? When are you stopping to tune into yourself to see what you need, to see what you want? When are you stopping to tune into your family to see what's going on with them? When are you stopping just to be and just to exist? I'm not saying don't go hard. Go hard. Work for your goals. Work for your dreams. But you also need to rest. You also need to know when you're not in the right frame of mind and when you need to take a break. You also need to know when it's time to see a therapist, because there's nothing wrong with that. You also need to know those things, right? Grind culture is a lie. And I don't want us to get caught up in grinding, because here's the thing. Half the people who get caught up in grind culture, you're grinding, and you never have the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of your labor. I want to work hard and I want to play hard. I want to work hard and I want to enjoy life. Yes, I know that some of the dreams that I have is going to require a lot from me, and I'm willing to put in that work, but I'm also willing to put in that rest. Come on, that's a quotable right there. putting the work, but also putting the rest. We have to know the balance. We have to know the balance, and not even the balance, the rhythm, right? I more so prescribe to a rhythm method than a balance method. We have to know the rhythm of when it's time to put in the work, but then when it's time to put in the rest as well. And so I am so I'm just happy for Naomi, and I'm happy for Simone, for the decision that they made for them. I'm happy for the example. They set an example on a world stage for us. Can't no everybody saw this. Can't nobody deny this. And I hope for our young children, our children who have dreams and aspirations, and even for those of us who are older, right, who are not as young as Naomi and Simone, I hope that we are learning as well that it is okay to choose us at the end of the day. They taught us a valuable lesson that when it's time to sit down, sit down. Because guess what? Ain't no gold medal, ain't no team, ain't none of that worth your mind. If y'all hear nothing else I say tonight, please understand that. Ain't no money, ain't no gold medal, ain't no team, ain't no accolades worth your mental health. Because here's what I know. You can get all of that. You can get all the accolades and all the money and stuff or whatever. But Simone and Naomi, at the end of the day, they're going to have to go back home. And when they go back home, they're going to have to deal with the anxiety, the depression, the depression, the pressure, the stress, and all of it that came with all of that. If they had made the decision not to choose themselves, it is not worth it at the end of the day. Because guess what? Guess what? Everybody may be in an uproar, whatever the case is, them queens are going to go take care of themselves. And at the end of the day, like I tell clients all the time with your job, sometimes we feel like, oh no, I'm loyal to my job, I can't leave, or whatever the case is. If something happens to you today or tomorrow, your job will be posted. They'll find somebody just as good or better, or maybe not, and the position will be filled. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. This is not about any of that. This is about you. And this is about you taking care of yourself at a higher level. One of the things I'm working on with a lot of my clients right now has been a recurring theme is radical self-awareness. We are working on radical self-awareness. And radical self-awareness says that I am so tuned into me. I'm so tuned into my needs that it's just all around me. I'm teaching my clients, whether you're at work, be tuned into you. What are your needs? What do you need to step away from? And be aware when anxiety is rising and when you need to engage in some coping in a moment. What's happening in your marriage? What's happening with your children, right? When you go certain places, when you walk into certain spaces, how does your body respond? What thoughts come up automatically, right? Because we don't realize we respond to the stimuli of our environment all the time. You may go certain places and you may start getting anxiety or, whatever. Your body temperature may start heating up because we respond different ways. I'm teaching my clients that in this season, we are engaging in radical self-awareness. And when my body tells me something about me, I'm listening. That's how we're going to end it tonight. When your body tells you something about you, make sure your ears are open and make sure that you're listening to you. Make sure you're engaged in radical self-awareness. Make sure that you're listening, that you're tuned into your body. Do you even know how your body reacts in certain environments? Do you even know the things that you're triggered by? It's important that we are tuned into ourselves and that we're learning these things about ourselves so that we can take our self-care to the next level, but not just our self-care to the next level, so that we can take our life to the next level. People who are radically self-aware are by and large more successful. Why? Because they understand what their needs are. They understand what they like and what they don't like. They understand what they want and what they don't want. And because they are radically self-aware, they're also okay with advocating for themselves. They're also okay with speaking up for themselves and what it is that they need. If something needs to be faced, they'll face it. If there's a conflict, they'll face it head on and they won't shy away from it. But that all comes from practicing and engaging in a place of radical self-awareness. And so as we've learned from Naomi and Simone, I hope, my wish for us all is that we would choose our mental health, that we would choose our mind, we would choose our emotions above all. Here's what I'm not saying, y'all. I'm not saying live in a complete place of selfishness. I'm not saying never help nobody, never want to be there for anybody. I'm not saying never be a comment. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not talking to that extreme. But what I am saying is at the end of the day, you have to choose you. I spoke at a conference over the last week in a women's conference. And as I spoke at the women's conference, one of the things that I had talked to the ladies about is as we were talking about self-care and taking care of ourselves, and there was question of, well, isn't that selfish, especially from a Christian standpoint? I want to talk to a Christian right now. Jesus tells us in Matthew that we are to love others as we love ourselves. We're to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. As I sat with that scripture and I took time to actually dig into that, I started to think, why would Jesus tell us to love ourselves, to love others as we love ourselves? Assuming that if I love others, Jesus would be telling us to love others as we love ourselves, assuming that we love ourselves so much that we are going to love the mess out of people. He would never give us the directive to love people if it wasn't going to be radical love, if it wasn't going to be extreme love, if it wasn't going to be excellent love. So when he was saying that to us, I believe that there was an assumption that Jesus had that we loved ourselves radically, that we loved ourselves excellently, that we loved ourselves extremely. You cannot be to other people what you are not first to yourself. And so for a Christian out there, I'm not telling you to be selfish. I'm not telling you to be arrogant. I'm not telling you to be conceited. What I am telling you is love yourself so radically so that you can love others radically. I want to submit to you, if you don't love yourself radically, it is very much possible that you have not been loving on others around you the way Jesus wants you to love on them. Think about that for a second. If I'm to love my neighbor as I love myself, but I don't love myself that much, I don't know how to choose me. I don't know how to rest when I'm supposed to rest. I don't know when to step away when I'm supposed to step away. I don't know when to make decisions for me when I'm supposed to make decisions for me. If I don't love myself from that radical place, you probably have not had the capacity to love others radically either. We have to learn to love ourselves deeply. First of all, y'all, we were created in God's image. Let's start right. We were created in God's image, which means that we were created beautifully. We were created wonderfully. The Bible says fearfully and wonderfully made. We were created in God's image. Even God knew when to rest. Right? Even God knew when it was time to take a step back. And what I submitted to the women at this conference is a lot of times we look, the Bible is a guide to life. It's a guide on how we're to walk out this Christian walk. But the Bible is also a self-care manual. It's a self-care manual. And so for a Christian out there, if you're trying to figure out how to take care of yourself, I want you to tune into the Bible. I'll do another live on that another day, and we'll go through some scriptures that really shows you how the Bible is a self-care manual, and it'll give you every tool and tip that you need to be able to take care of yourself. But I want to submit to y'all today that Naomi and Simone taught us a valuable lesson in mental health. And they taught us a valuable lesson. And I don't care how big the stage is, you make sure you take care of you. Don't let no fans, don't let no committee, don't let no coaches, I don't care who they are. Don't let anybody try to convince you to just push through in a place in the area where you're not comfortable with pushing through. And you know that you don't have it in you to push through. It's okay to step back. It's okay to take a break. And guess what, y'all? They took a break. They stepped back. They did what they had to do, and now they're going to be able to deal with themselves, and now they'll be able to come back bigger and better and stronger, and they'll be able to live with the fact that they chose them. They chose what was best for them in this season. And so I hope for all of us, if y'all get nothing else out of what I said today, I just hope for all of us that we have learned from them that it's okay to choose you. It's okay to rest. It's okay to step back. It's okay no matter how big the platform is, no matter how much of a risk you think it is. I submit, because of the fact that they made the decision to take care of them, because of the fact that they made the decision to step back and deal with their mental health, that they're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger. And if it's not in an Olympics, it's going to be in some other way, because I believe that God is going to honor those actions. I believe that God honors our actions when we make the decision to make sure that we're whole. We got to be whole. We got to make sure that we're whole. Before we try to entertain or do anything for anybody else, we have to make sure that we are whole, that we are whole people. And I know that because they made the decision to do that, that they wanted to be whole, that they didn't want to add any undue stress, anxiety, and pressure on themselves, that they're going to come back bigger, better, and stronger. I just know it. And that is the case for all of us. When we made the decision to get whole, it's time to get whole, y'all. Let's get whole. Let's be whole. Let's stop operating as fragmented selves. We are operating as fragmented pieces of ourselves, just trying to make it, grasping at straws at different parts in life. No, let's stop being fragmented in our approach to life, and let's be whole. Let's be 100%. Every area of your life, I challenge you today. Look at every area of your life. Look at your money. Look at your emotional health. Look at your social relationships. Look at your job situation. Look at your spirituality. Look at your physical health. I want you to even look at your environment, right? The areas of our lives according to the, the wellness where that we need to look at. I want you to look at those areas and figure out where it isn't whole. Figure out where the fragments are and then put a plan in place to get it together. Because here's what I teach my clients all the time. Yes, you come to me for internal struggles. We're going to deal with the trauma. We're going to deal with the mental issues. We're going to deal with the emotional stuff. We're going to deal all of that, right? But once you get to a place where you feel like, I feel like emotionally and mentally I'm free, a lot of times what I find is my clients are still stuck. They're like, Chanel, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I have more clarity than I've ever had. I feel like free. I don't feel depressed. I don't feel like I'm being held back and held in bondage anymore, but I'm still stuck. And what I do with them is do an assessment. Like, okay, so now that we got this one area of your life, now we need to look at each of the area of your life, because you are many parts that make up a whole. And if any part of you is not together, if any part of you is not whole, guess what? I don't care what you try to do. It's just not going to work. You're not just your mind. You're not just your emotions. You're not just your money. You're just not just your relationships. You are all of that. And so you have to make sure that all of that is taken care of, right? And so I challenge you. I want you to look at every single area of your life. Look at all the parts that make up you. Figure out where the deficits are. Figure out what's fragmented, and then put a plan in place to begin to work on the fragments so that you can bring everything together and so that you can be a whole person. Because here's the thing, when you are whole, nothing's going to be able to stop you. You are going to be unstoppable. You're going to smash goals. You're going to achieve things that you never could have imagined achieving. Like, you're just going to be unstoppable. And so our goal is to be whole. And so that's all I have for you. I really hope that this was helpful. Didn't want it to be long. I am going to get back to the Olympics because I do want to watch it, but I really hope that this was helpful. I hope that we are taking the lessons that we are watching. Like, the sacrifice that these two queens made is not in vain. We see y'all. I don't know if they'll ever see this, but Naomi and Simone, if y'all ever see this, if somebody want to tag them or whatever the case is, we're proud of you. We're proud of you. We're rooting for you. We're proud of you for choosing you. We thank you for setting an example for our children, but not just our children. We thank you for setting an example for us, to teach us that no matter what the situation is, no matter what the stage is, no matter what the platform is, that our mental health is what's important, and that we would choose us each and every time. So thank you. And I want to thank you all for watching tonight. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Hopefully I'll be back on with you soon. I do miss doing my lives. So hopefully you'll be back on soon. Do me a favor and go ahead and like, comment, give me some hearts. Do me a favor and go ahead and share this. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments, and let's engage in some dialogue, and I'll be with you soon. Talk to you soon.